let's check this out. Hip mobility to eliminate
Place a
pain.
water bottle on the ground in front of you like this, and you lift your leg up and over the water bottle like this, and you do this 10 times on each leg. You will improve your hip mobility and your hip flexor strength. If you go
Gotcha. So for everybody ever, with all sorts of hips and labrum tears and cam impingements and pincher deformities and osteophytic development on their acetabular rim and all these different things, if you take a water bottle, it's got to be that size water bottle, and you do exactly 10, not 8, not 9, not 11, but you do 10 of these every day, you are unequivocally, with no caveats applied, going to experience better hip mobility and better hip flexor strength. It's not that this advice is necessarily bad. We're not bashing the guy who's giving this advice, but we need context to determine whether this is good for you or bad for you. And on different days, at different times of day, it might be better than on other days. Pretty much every single person that I'm seeing today of my 8 appointments, if they did this, would be jacked up afterwards because they have all manner of labrum reconstructions, all manner of hip replacements and spinal fusions and all these different things going on. If we don't apply context to who are we talking about, what kind of issues and surgeries and activities do they engage in? What's their joint structure and how are they built? Do they even have hips that move in that direction? Or maybe their femur is going to run into their acetabulum if they try to go up from a straight leg position like this. We don't know if this thing's going to be good for that person or not. So the only issue we take with this kind of advice, again, if you're young and healthy like this guy is, the issue, it's going to be probably good for you. The issue comes when we try to have a 70-year-old doing this, and we see this all the time. Our clients come in here jacked up because they found some YouTube or Instagram advice and they tried it and it wasn't fit to their body and to their issues that they have going on. So the only issue is making these blanket statements with no caveats applied whatsoever, and we're probably going to see a little more of that, I'm guessing.
If you go down into a frog pose like this, and you
which most of my clients can't get into no matter what, and it would destroy their hips and their back to even get into that place.
sink your hips back like this, and you rotate your leg up and down like this, and you do this 10 times on each leg, you will improve your glute strength and improve your hip rotation.
Understood. So again, we have a magic number, which is 10, because 10 is just the magic number for everything. It's nice and round and divisible by a bunch of stuff. And because we do 10, not 9, not 11, not 8, not 7, we're going to have 2 guaranteed outcomes. It might improve something with you depending on who you are, but it's definitely going to categorically improve what you have going on. One of the issues with some of these mobility things is if you already have something like arthritic change or osteophytic development, which is a fancy Latin word for bone spurs in your hips, and then you try to push your joints to the end of their available motion, what's going to happen is those bone spurs might run into each other again, and bone grows in response to intermittent force. So what that means is if I tapped on your forehead for 10 years, you would slowly become a unicorn over time. Probably not, but oversimplified, but you get the idea. So these bone spurs develop when there's force going into these bones and your body lays down more bone in order to accommodate for the force going into those places. So if you have a restricted range of motion and you're trying to improve your hip mobility, it could be the case, again, I'm not making blanket statements because we don't do that, if you have bone spurs on the rim of your hip socket, the acetabulum, and then you're trying to shove your hip into a place, it's going to lay down more bone over time, which is going to leave you feeling less mobile, more restricted, have potentially more pain, and then you're going to have diminishing returns, you're going to get less results, you're going to have less range of motion over time because you're trying to do something good for yourself. Just one possible outcome, again, if you're young and healthy like this guy, it could work out great for you. I'm sure I could do some of this stuff and it would probably help my hip mobility, but we can't make blanket statements for everybody.
You go down into a pigeon pose like this, and you lean forward for 30 seconds like this. You will stretch out your glute and eliminate that nagging pain in your...
So you'll stretch out your glute, that's for sure, if that was something that was a good idea in the first place. Now, if we're going to eliminate your
lower body,
nagging pain in your lower body, again, we're making promises on something that can absolutely not be delivered to every single person. If I did that with my 60 to 70% iliopsoas tear, my 2 torn labrum spots, and the avulsion fracture that I had in my femur, I can tell you I'm not sitting down well that next day and I'm not walking well the next day. I'm going to get reduced range of motion because I shoved my body into something that I didn't want to do, and then it's going to give me less over time. That's just me specifically. These things you're welcome to try. It's not like these are going to give you hip cancer or something. It's unlikely that they're going to give you hip cancer, but you need to be aware that if you try some drills and things that you see on Instagram and YouTube, even ours, that you need to gauge how you feel based on doing those things so that you can determine, is this thing helping me in the long term, or is this thing actually giving me less range of motion afterwards? My hip's more pissed off, my back hurts more after I do this stuff, meaning doing 10 of anything like this may not be the right thing for you. So that's why we're so big in our platform about not giving blanket advice to people. We say, here's an exercise, try it, see what happens. Here's a concept, try to implement it, see if you get some benefit. But if it doesn't help, dial back. We have no idea who you are. We know who our clients are, and we can give them better instructions based on them as an individual person with all of the information that we get from them. But if you don't know anything about the person, it borders on malpractice to give advice that is going to make it seem as though you're going to get a guaranteed outcome from doing a certain thing.
Save this video and do these exercises every single day. You won't complain about your body hurting all the time.
So again, a guarantee that if you save this video and do them every day, you won't complain about your body hurting all the time. Once again, at risk of repeating myself more than I already have, every single person I'm going to see today, from my guy with 3 back fusions, 2 hip replacements, 2 knee replacements, and an ankle reconstruction, to my paraplegic, to my person with a hip that's been replaced 3 separate times because they kept messing it up, if they do any of this stuff, it's going poorly. Now, there's ways to work on mobility for those people because you want to have some mobility, but mobility without control can be an opportunity for a problem, and trying to force mobility in something that is super degenerated, already has issues, has arthritic changes, bone spur development, cartilage has been worn down, is going to most likely give you the opposite of the intended effect if done by forcing positions and shoving your whole body weight on top of something.
And make sure you follow for more fitness tips.
So yeah, if you follow, you'll probably get more fitness tips. That's likely to be the most accurate bit of the video. So the point of this is not to tell you that this is bad advice. Once again, I want to stress that I'm sure a lot of people have gotten better from what this guy has said. We just take issue because we see it hurting people all the time with people giving blanket advice and promising outcomes, and then without knowing who's seeing that video at all. And then that person who tries that stuff gets worse and worse and starts to think, man, what's the problem with me? This is supposed to, if I do 10, give me more hip mobility, reduce my pain, stretch out my glute, make my lower body feel better, get rid of my nagging issues because this expert said so. That is a possible outcome, that stuff gets better. We also just want you to know it's very, very possible it doesn't get better. So you need to know your body, learn your body, make decisions based on your body, try things in a controlled setting, evaluate how your body responds, and then you come up with your own possible routines and flows that can actually definitely help you, because only you know your body and nobody else will know it as well as you do ever.